Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Mike on the Mike, Clive, all the way in is Miami, right?
in Florida, in Broward County.
Okay, in Florida. What has been the COVID experience like for you and that part of the world?
On this part of the world, I have been self-isolating about a month ago, prior to it being recommended, a little over a month, because I didn't have all the answers. And being a retired person, being a mature senior person, I decided to protect myself. So I host radio programs from here,
Uh-huh.
and I usually I have a show on Saturday afternoon from 3 to 6, but I
Okay.
have the equipment at home where I don't have to go into the station. So I record, I not record, but I actually do the show live from here and join my co-host at the station.
So you're saying you're a radio announcer, correct?
Yes, correct.
What
Yes.
is the name of the radio station you work at?
I work on 1210 WNMA The Man. We come on
Mhm.
Saturdays from 3 to 6 p.m. And I have two co-hosts, a Jamaican guy, his name is Eddie Edwards,
Okay.
and a Trinidadian woman, Gillian Smart. So it's three of us. The show is called 3 at 3. It's three of us, and we start at 3 p.m. on a Saturday.
Okay. Um, I know you mentioned it earlier on as you being a senior. Where were you originally from in Trinidad?
From Faizabad, Trinidad. Faizabad in the oil fields.
Oh, okay. And how long have you been in the US?
I've been here close to 40 years, probably about 38 years. I've been
Oh,
out of
wow.
Trinidad, but I go back pretty often.
Okay. When was the last time you were here?
I was there in November of last year, and
Okay.
I had a flight booked to go back March 19th until the borders were shut down and airlines stopped flying. So I didn't make that trip. So I'm
Oh,
going to
so
be
you,
trying to get back my money.
oh, so you were basically you were one of them who were like almost close to when they shut the borders. One of those
I
key.
was almost close to staying in Trinidad for a while.
I hear you. But how do you feel now? You feel healthy? I
Oh
know
no,
you
no,
said.
no. I'm in pretty good health. I exercise daily. I stay inside, but I
Uh-huh.
exercise daily. I have some of the weights I've collected over the years. I gave the heavier weights to my
Uh-huh.
grandsons, and then I bought stretch tubes, stretch bands. I mix my soca music, and I exercise inside.
I hear you. What would be your advice for seniors like yourself right back home in Trinidad?
The best thing to do is to stay indoors. We just learned last week that the virus could be floating around in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
How long? A lot about this virus they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to take the precautions and be on the side where we don't know, so we are not taking any chances. And that's what I've done. I had one of the co-hosts, the female co-host. She in the first couple of weeks she came here to do the show from here instead of driving all the way down to Miami.
Okay.
And I had to let her know that I'm self-isolating, and so she drives to the station now. And I don't go out at all. If I go out, I go down to the mailbox, or sometime I have to give somebody something, and I give them. I go downstairs, I hand it to them, and we talk by phone. I don't even talk to them. I just hand them,
Uh-huh.
collect what I have to collect, and that's it.
Is this one of the times where we could embrace digital technologies? Because you're running a basically a radio station from your house. I'm doing a television station from my home too as well. Is this like an innovative time? Is that time for opportunity in this crisis for us?
I consider myself fortunate, Michael.
Yeah.
I taught radio, television, and film in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I taught broadcasting, journalism, did the yearbook, a number of um, elements surrounding audio video.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I grew up with it. That's what I tell people. There are people my age who wouldn't even have a cell phone.
Yeah.
I grew with it, so a lot of the technology I know, and I consider myself fortunate. However, I really enjoy technology. You know, I
Yeah.
enjoy the new technology. I embrace it, and so I am willing to work with it. I have the patience.
Great.
I'm
And
trying to follow the advice that I gave my students back then.
and, and that's a very good because you have seen the evolution of television from, especially what I guess from in Trinidad to from one television station to this explosion of different television stations. We have stuff on cable and now online. Look, I'm home and I have the capacity to run almost like a television station. Is it a good thing the way the technology going, the direction of technology? Is it a good thing for us?
I think the new is always good. Um, we need to embrace it. And the
Mm-hmm.
technology is there for us to actually do anything. I mean, I would go to travel to London. My sister lives in London. I would take my equipment, and I could tell you how much my equipment
Yeah.
weighs in a suitcase. It's 18.7 pounds.
Oh
And
wow. Yeah.
I will send my clothes through, and I will take my equipment on board. I
Yeah.
set up a dining room table and I broadcast from there. And a lot of times people don't know that I'm not in the country.
Oh,
They
okay.
think I'm in the studio. That's how good it sounds. So if we embrace the technology, we would become comfortable with it. But fortunately for me, I grew up with it, and I taught students, and I watch us move from editing with two controllers, two
Tape to
television,
tape.
two
Tape to tape.
monitors,
Yeah.
a control.
Yeah.
I moved from that to editing on a laptop. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you said that because when I tell people I have 20 years television experience, they really don't believe it. But I remember when I started working in TV6, as you said, it was tape to tape editing on a U-matic tape. And
Yes.
anytime you make a mistake or you hit the wrong track, you have to do the whole edit over because you're erasing tracks. And it's interesting how the technology has advanced so much, but also the fundamentals and the basics are still very much important in order for you to achieve a proper objective.
Yeah, but that is my only concern with the new technology. I see videos, I see people doing radio shows on Facebook, and they don't have the interaction for the audience to see. So
Yeah,
for me, who have lived in and worked in this television production field,
yeah,
watching one person do a radio show on television comes off as boring. So
yeah,
I would do it. I mean, I refuse. I was on another station. They had it. I would turn off the camera,
yeah,
because I found it to be boring. But I think that, you know, back, I remember when we had black and white television.
yes,
And then by the time I was going to retire, and I would ask my students, when last did you see a
see a
black and
black
white
and white.
television?
Uh,
They didn't know.
yeah,
So for the newbies coming into the industry,
yeah,
they're coming in at a good time, but they have to be able to know the basics to
yeah.
transfer that basics to the current technology.
Agree, agree. And I know my conversation kind of take a kind of side route, but that's because I share similar passions like yourself. And it's always good to get a mentor like yourself just to at least pick the brain of what it was like and where we going forward. And as I said before in the past to my audience, this is an interactive format. It's not like traditional television. I want the interaction. I want the conversation going. Please comment on the live. Please comment when we have guests on too as well, so we can have a kind of sense of a community. And I guess that's the idea of social media. Even though it might look to your eyes as traditional media, it's not. It's very interactive. It allows opportunities for us to build and build and embrace a community. But going back to the COVID experience and stuff like that, as we're winding down, because I don't want to keep the interview too long, I don't want to take too much more of your time. What is your advice? And you saying that you have been in Trinidad November, which is very recent. What is your advice to the Trinidad public at large who may not be taking the warning serious, or may not be taking this thing serious? What would you like to tell them?
First of all, let me say that Trinidad is no different to anywhere else in the world. So we have people here. I listen to a lot of radio around the world, BBC, LBC, CBC in Canada, ABC in Australia. I listen, and there are people all over the world who insist on not following the instructions given by the authorities. So, my advice is follow the instructions. There are many conspiracy theories, but don't let these conspiracy theories get you into a position where you're actually taking chances with your life or the life of your loved ones, especially the young people. I would like to suggest to them that they don't take the virus home to their older parents and grandparents. That's a major advice I would like to give. I don't have any visitors. I have kids, grandkids. They called me. I told them, they can't visit because
Okay.
I want to keep that virus down.
Yeah.
And so I advise them to stay away. So I think we have to consider the older ones too.
And I mean, this is a question that popped in my head, and I'm apologizing for being so disjointed, but I go with the flow. You're in Florida, right? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What is it like being a Caribbean person in that space, flying the Trinidad culture and the Trinidad flag?
Well, that is part of the reason for the radio show. And
Hmm.
I've done radio here for about 29 years.
Okay.
And being out here, I am first a Trinbagonian, and I fly the flag high.
Wherever you are, yeah.
We have one of the premier independence celebration here in South Florida. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a classy function, and I'm sorry we had to cancel it this year,
Yeah.
2020. But the radio show, my radio programs, my interviews, I push the Trinbagonian culture. I was the only guy on my station who they would call me. I was the expert on calypso, soca, steel band music on
Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
And then I'm on this other station now, and
Yeah.
I fly our culture. I have segments where I did calypso gems. I did several different types of interviews with different artists. I also have a, a segment now that's called Vintage Kaiso. And
Uh-huh.
so I try to fly the Trinbagonian flag very high. But when you look at the bigger picture, we have to be Caribbean people here together. So, for example, the census,
Yeah.
we are now filling out the census forms, and I identify myself as a Trinidadian on
Okay.
the form, right? But I'm still a Caribbean person.
Okay.
I do all type of shows. I do Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. I just started doing a show for a friend of mine. He cannot go to the station, and it's a reggae show. The show
Okay.
that I do Saturday afternoon is a Caribbean show. It's reggae, soca, it's everything. So I will have to say, patting myself on the back, I'm a total Caribbean person.
And the Caribbean man, I guess.
Yes, yes, and loving my Trinbago culture.
All right. I want to say, Mr. Osborn, thank you for talking to me on the mic. It has been a pleasure. It's good to have a different perspective and to vary. I know we stick on the COVID topic a bit, but to vary a little bit and just get a little more of the culture and the dynamic and how technology is changing the world that we're in. You be safe out there and you be safe for your family and for your friends back home in Trinidad.
Thank you very much, Michael. I want to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I'd like to say that to you and your family, be safe and, let's not get stressful inside four walls.
Yes, yes, it can be stressful, but we're managing. We're managing.
Yes, yes.
Take care, Mr.
All right,
Osborne.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.